Welcome back, everybody, to the daily show where we discuss and do technical analysis on big mega cap stocks. So before we get started, please smash that like button, and 100 plus likes on this video would be greatly appreciated, guys. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. Now, if you want to support the channel and get my daily trade ideas, my swing trade ideas, live trading, and all kinds of setups, definitely check out their link down below in the description for Patreon. And now let's get right into it, guys. On Google stock, it's up 1.45%. Now we talked about it, how I actually got a position here on Google, and now I think I'm up like $5-6 a share on Google position right here, and this thing moved up to 172 and still holding my position. And look at this today, guys. We talked about it in my video last night also, that Google can actually break and hold 170. You're going to see more continuation to the upside, and looks like with this candle, definitely there is more upside here on Google stock. It's getting extremely oversold, so it's due for a bounce and possibly going up to this negative sloping 5-day moving average 173.39, and soon as that breaks, you're going to see easily Google coming up to 176, and over that level this gap comes into play, which is sitting right here at 183.33. Now to the downside, Google breaks under 170, then this is actually a dead cat bounce, and things can pull back again all the way down to, I would say right here, 162, and just under that we also have this gap right here at 158.28. So Google here, guys, I mean, it's in the middle, but definitely making some progress, and now it's holding 170. So I would give benefit of the doubt to the upside, and this thing can possibly push up to 173.39, and over that level, definitely, at least in the short term, we could see a move up to 176 on Google stock, and from there 180 to 181, and the next resistance and the gap here 183.33 on Google stock to the upside. But wait and see if this thing can hold 170. I mean, so far today we came slightly under 170, but immediately went back up and pretty much was green all day. So I think Google in a process where this thing can actually bottom out here, at least in the short term, and we could see some more upside up to 176 and possibly up to this gap 183.33. On Amazon stock, it's up 0.38%. So a lot of these stocks, they do have earnings this week. So IB on those options are really high, whether you buy calls or puts, and that is why I'm not doing much this week. I mean, I could have played this today, back up to the upside, make some money on day trade, but IB is so high and the contracts are a bit expensive than usual, and that is why I'm not doing anything, especially on a stock like Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, and Meta, even AMD. So here on Amazon, you can see it was holding 5-day moving average right here, 182.56, went back up to almost 185, got a rejection, and now trading at 183. So Amazon stock, if this thing breaks 185 tomorrow, we could see a move up to 187, 190, and then this gap 192.24. Amazon breaks under 182.50, the next critical support 180, and below that level you're going to see a dump off down to lower Bollinger Band 175.91, so I would say 176 and then 173. On Tesla stock, it's up 5.61%, and what I said last night in my video that I'm expecting explosive move here on Tesla, and we definitely got that. I mean, I wasn't expecting this much today. I mean, just one day, beginning of the week, Monday, and this thing is up over 5%. Massive explosion. Now we try to short Tesla here. You know, some people made money, 30-40%. I was green few times, 30-40%. I did not take that profit, and still holding a small position here on Tesla, and see if this thing actually comes back to close this gap we opened up today, 222, and that would be a dip buying opportunity on Tesla. So this thing pushed higher, and now you can see it's actually above 5-day moving average, which is sitting near 227. So that's going to be a support to watch going into tomorrow's session. And you can see this this candle right here, high of this candle, pretty much right here at 226, 227. So that was holding today, and now there will be support from this 5-day moving average 226.90. So I would say 227. Anything from 226 to 227, there will be support on Tesla. As long as Tesla can hold right here, watch out for continuation, and this rally can continue up to 240, and once we get up to 240 and that breaks, Tesla filling this gap immediately at 245.63. So a lot of people, they were talking about shorting Tesla and this thing going under 200, and I said do not short into this hole right here. This could be a dip buying opportunity, and you can see why I said that. I mean, at least wait for a bounce if you want to short. And this thing was crashing, and a lot of people went shorting here on Tesla. And now you can see, I mean, this thing ripping your face off if you actually shorted Tesla. And I hope you guys are not shorting Tesla, especially near the gap, near critical support, and near lower Bollinger Band. I mean, this thing only came down to, I think it was 215, and that was it. Did not close this gap completely, and now back up to almost 234, 235 today, and trading at 232. So Tesla can continue over 227, this rally up to 240, and then this gap 245.63. Under 227, 226, this gap comes into play and possibly a buying opportunity 222.28, and underneath that level, watch out for this gap 213.23. On AMD, it's absolutely flat on the day. Now, AMD was up actually. It was trying to go back up. It was green pretty much all day, and then Nvidia gave up all the gains, and guess what? AMD pulled back and now trading over critical support 138. Now, keep that in mind. We cannot play this stock unless you like to gamble. We do have earnings coming out from AMD tomorrow night. So that is going to be a catalyst where this thing can go up or can come down even more. Now, critical support to watch 138. Below that, we do have support lower Bollinger Band near 132, and underneath that level you're going to see a flush down to 125. Now over 138, if this thing breaks and holds 143, then you're going to see a quick trip up to 148, and then this gap just below 154. On Meta, it's absolutely flat also on the day, and you can see, I mean, Meta was up pretty much all day and got over 470. And again, guys, just like Friday, look at that rejection. Yes, we got up even higher today, but even with that, this thing did not hold 470 and now trading at 465, not even holding, I think, 5-day moving average, which is sitting at 467. So here on Meta, it needs to get over 467, 5-day moving average, and the critical resistance right here 470. Over that, you're going to see a move up to almost 480, 13 SMA on this daily time frame, and over that, this gap comes into play 487.72. Now if this thing cannot recapture 470, this move cannot continue to the upside. This thing will come back all the way down to 452, 441.61, lower Bollinger Band, and then possibly at some point, maybe after earnings, closing this gap right here at 400. On Microsoft, it's up 0.34%. So Microsoft now, if you look at my screen, not even holding 428.83 5-day moving average, and came back and now trading at 426.73. Now I was eyeing to trade Microsoft today, but because of earnings coming out, I think Wednesday night, avoided and did not play this thing. Now, going into tomorrow's session, guys, critical support down here at 420. But if this thing breaks and holds 428.83, we could see a move up to 432 to 433. And over that level, watch out for a move up to 439.14, 50 SMA and 13 SMA right here. And then we can even talk about this gap getting filled at 443 right here on Microsoft. Now with earnings, nobody knows what's coming, right? If this thing cracks under 420, there will be more selling down to 413, and then this gap comes into play right here, just slightly under 400. So Netflix also going down 0.70% and finally cracking under this critical support 630, and looks like now it's holding on to this previous consolidation right here, 625 to 624 as a support. Now if that gives up, we do have lower Bollinger Band as a support right down here, 614.47, and underneath that level, you're going to see a quick flush down to 604. That's going to be also a strong support on Netflix to maybe buy that dip right here. Now, if this thing actually breaks over 630 tomorrow, then watch out for some continuation back up to 642.74, and over that level, Netflix can move up to 655 and then 664. Until this thing breaks and holds, I would say 655, and that would be going over all these moving averages, and that is when this thing will look more bullish. Until then, guys, I mean, this thing can come down easily all the way down to 604. On Apple, stock is also going flat on the day. Now, I was going to play Apple this morning, but again, earnings cannot play it, so avoid it. But this thing definitely made a move. From 216 got up to 219, and then look at the rejection from this 5-day moving average. 219.45, and then got up to 219.30 here, and then pulled back all the way down to 216, 217, and closing at 218. So this could turn into some sort of a bear flag, maybe even a head and shoulder pattern, but it all depends on their earnings, which is coming Thursday night. If this thing gets over 219 to 220, we could see a move up to 225, and from there 230, and then this gap 232.33. Now, longer Apple stays under 220, you're going to see Apple coming down to lower Bollinger Band 213.57, and then 210, 50 SMA, and below that level, critical support right here, 207. And under 207, guys, it's all over. You're going to see a weekly retest of that breakout, and that's going to be around 198. On Nvidia, stock is down over 1%, so this is a massive swing right here on Nvidia stock. At one point, I think this thing was up almost 3%, and then pretty much gave away all the gains. We got a red candle on the day, and now it's trading pretty much at the low of the day here. So Nvidia definitely, there are no more big buyers, and looks like we cannot even push up to 118. So going into tomorrow's session, we do have a lot of earnings coming out this week, and then we have on Wednesday FOMC. So maybe we get some sort of a catalyst where this thing breaks and holds 118. In that case, we might see some more upside back up to 126. But the longer we spend time here under 118 on Nvidia stock, the more chances of this support breaking at some point, coming down here to 107, and then this support breaking. And if that happens, guys, I mean, when this thing was right up here, and I was talking about 107, and a lot of people thought this thing cannot come down here, well, it happened, right? So if this thing takes out 107, in that case, while yes, this thing can dump easily down to 98 to even 96 bucks right here to close this gap from earnings. Now, that would be a nice opportunity to buy the dip if you're looking to buy that dip on Nvidia. Not here, even though, I mean, this thing can get a bounce, but I'm not really interested buying the dip right here on Nvidia, especially thinking about long term. No, you cannot do this. Even at 96, I mean, think about it, guys. It's still, almost $1,000 per share. And I'm talking about before the split, right? So it's still expensive, but this is somewhat of a dip buying opportunity, at least getting a starter position right here at 96 if that happens. Otherwise, this is not a buy zone here. This thing is still up a ton. And I mean, unless you get a pullback, there's no opportunity to go long here on Nvidia stock. You can swing, calls, maybe 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out. But if this thing breaks critical support like 107, you're going to see a lot more dump off on Nvidia. And that's all I have for you guys in this video. Thank you so much for watching.